Okay. Wow. Last time was a little bit interesting. Things sort of I think started off okay, and I don't know. I got confused. Nothing was working as I expected, and I don't know. I think I was like, oh, what's going on? And then I realized that first off, it's my fault. My idea about let me get this done and then I'll fix it later in there. Every time I got a bunch of things to do and picking positions was like, well, let's pick a number. And well, some of those numbers were not working with other numbers, and also in some cases, coordinate systems were a bit weird. So if you look at this thing running in the back here, it's wow, it's the things are off center, and yeah, things were just looking a bit sus. So I also forgot. We can have a look at the code, but it's yeah. If I resize the window, right? So um, things then these were aligned to the edge, and then of course if I was to actually come in here and make it very parallel, it's if you look actually let me just turn off this matrix here. Let's just turn this off, make it identity. So let's get in identity, and actually when it runs, oops, I have to run it again this time with the and yeah, also one thing I saw, let's see if I have that file open. No, the game surface or the animated and paint surface, it was already applying some scale, and then the width and height that I get back is not the actual width and height, and make it a bit bigger, but rather it was the sort of the height in of the sort of the scaled height. So let's say I want to my laptop right now at a 1.5 scale, 150%. So and my width of my window would be, let's say, 500, it would scale it up to be whatever that's 750, but 750 raw pixels, but then it would apply a scale and give me the 500 that I was expecting, I suppose. However, the I was doing lots of calculations over here. It's a bit smaller. Like over here, I've got a matrix, and then I'm passing the matrix into the sprite as well. So this matrix over here, the reason I have to do this 0.75 was also because of all the other scalings that were all off, and also yeah, 0.25, and I think over here I've got like 0.4, and all of this weird things are happening because of this is being scaled, that's not being scaled. So and you can see, look at this one, this particular um, so the man is basically running, all these things are aligned to the edges for some reason, and then the background is off by a bit. And if you can see, I've got things here. I'm subtracting half a width. Here's another half a width. This is to counteract the fact that where is these ones? Here we go, another half a width. I'm putting it back, taking it off, and things just got totally out of whack. And then of course I've got these random numbers here that it makes sense. I want to do 20 tiles into the distance and 5 tiles behind me. But this one here, I'm starting where index 0 is the middle row. So in this over here, I've just got to move it over half a tile, but then over here I have moved it back half a tile, and then I'm actually adding an extra tile. So things were a little bit outrageous. Let me move my face. So yeah, so I was like, wow, everything's gone wrong. So I just took a step back and I was like, what? What should have been done, and one thing was just delete all the transformation code. I have the I don't want that. Delete the transformation code and just, I don't know, that's that was there. And then start again. So what we did, we can have a look at our desktop. So I'll do a full split. There we go, the full page. Let's just crop off the edge so that we can see the full page. Hopefully we can make the window very big. There we go, we can. So if we look at our file, I added a bunch of comments, but a lot of the changes were removing well, I moved the algorithm logic into the update method. Let me move my face a bit to make it a bit smaller so we can see. Let's just move this content. There we go. So in the update logic, instead of the draw, because we need to use the isometric matrix, or the matrix that we use to do the transformation into 3D, we need to use it, and we need to pass that to the paint the sprite, but we don't need any of the other transforms. However, we do need the transforms that we originally had a comment over here: translate to the bottom left, scale nicely. We still do that, but I need it as well in the update loop, because if you're looking at, let's go looking at the, you can see the bottles are spawning up at the top, but when we were rotating it diagonally, the length of the path or the floor gets longer because we're looking at a diagonal, right? I've totally forgot about that. And the bottles previously were spawning in the middle of the screen, and I was like, what's it doing when it's vertical? It's at the top. When we rotate it, it's suddenly in the middle. Well, that's how physics works. If you have a square or a rectangle and you do a diagonal, it is longer. So we need to basically take the final matrix and invert it and work out where the top left would be if it was, and I can show you now with that. So, and yeah, look at this weird calculation that can now be replaced with an actual calculated, accurate, matrix obtained value. So there's that, and then of course here's these things like I'm plussing a sprite, so plussing a lane, the current lane, and I'm dividing it by 2. It's like, we don't need any of that. We just need to work out the lane width, and then I move it to the center of that lane. And of course we're using a zero-based index because that's what it is, and right now this is what it looks like. So it's much better. Things are spawning off the edge of the screen, and if I go really long, they still spawn off the screen. if I go short and vertical, things will spawn off the screen as well. So that is, obviously we can position this a bit differently, a little bit to the left, or change the angle a bit for a portrait device, but basically things are much better now. Yeah, so I pushed that commit up, and oh my goodness, that was a big relief to finally have this thing working. So if we were to run this, run through the code, bunch of comments, when the update is happening, and also instead of rendering things in weird places, I actually do it right. So I'll show you in a second. So the update, we assume that the we get the sizes, we get the offsets, and we do our scaling over here. We then work out with where the sort of the furthest distance of the floor is, and we make sure that our origin is there. And then of course we update and we make sure to preserve. We're in lane 0, for example, in the initial lane, so this will calculate 0, and we plus the center of that lane. And we're in lane 1, this is 1 lane plus half a lane, so that will give you in the middle of the second lane. So the same with this, and none of the weird math that was happening at the end here for these things. It's basically a simple operation. You have the current plus the distance that we ran, and we now also got real numbers. So we want 3 tiles behind us. We want the furthest distance to be, the actual length of the path. And then of course our tiles, we don't want to do one to the left and one to the right. We want to make sure our tiles start at 0. And because we're starting at 0 and not adding a half and removing a half, these operations basically just, that's just to add some padding, but no need to do additional as we had before. There was addition and subtraction in various places to, like, here's half a tile and we're adding the padding, we're adding padding there. But yeah, so things are a bit better there. Yeah, so overall I finally managed to get it to work, and it feels good. So yeah, so this not going to be able to stay on long, but I thought I'd just give that update and get that working. Let me actually just push that online. I thought the next thing we have to do is basically right now it's spawning these bottles just off every half a second or something, and that is, I don't know, not particularly useful. So what we actually want to do is we want to spawn the next one when the furthest bottle is is sort of a certain distance away from a drink. So if you spawn something at a distance of 100, that's your spawn distance. When the item is maybe gone to like 90, we want to spawn the next one rather than time based. Sort of the same, but not quite. And the reason is that right now we're spawning one thing, and we actually want to spawn a collection of things, because let's just say we want to have a specific pattern. So we might have to change some of the code again. I think we cannot need that right now. So if we were going to have, let's just say we want to generate, we have this thing. So we want to generate sort of chunks. So let's just get a few rectangles in here. So here's chunk 1 for the road. It's chunk 2, chunk 3. Right? We're going to just say do 3 chunks. And the first one we're going to want to just have just a blank one. Then for chunk 2 we want to maybe have let's just put a dot For example, we want to have uh, just one obstacle there in the middle, right? That's the starting one. And you know what? Let's just do, we can do the starting one later. So let's say we want to have an obstacle like like that, right? So X amount of units tall. We have to see how it works. I don't know what the distance between that. Maybe it'll be an open block, so technically another one could be there, which it won't. And this one will just be it's 3, 5 here, right? Just each chunk is 5 tiles big or something. Let's go with that. This is a 3, and maybe this one we want the user to go in a back and forth. So we would have a thing there, we have a tile here, here, and here, and here, for example. So if we were to get a pencil out that's a bit thinner, our path would be like that. This path would be, well, we can go like that, we can go like that, or we can go like that, and obviously we can go like that. So it's just um, basically a cool pattern. This one we can go through there, and let's just say we want to make another pattern, and we basically want to force the user into the middle. Right, let's just go with these patterns for now. Okay, and all the runner is, the player is allowed to do is go in the middle. So let's say we want to make these 4 chunks. What we're going to do is basically stop this quickly and say, let's create sort of an array of chunks, right, where different numbers mean, for example, 0 means nothing. Well, let's create an enum. Public enum, actually let's put that there, and we're going to do sprite kind, or should we, yeah, this is just sprite kind. Then we can do nah, nothing, none, let's do that, let's just do that, none. Then we have an obstacle and a reward, right? And we can figure out the rewards. Let's make a new one called a wall, right? We're not going to use it right now, but it's for example, obstacles you can jump over. In the case we're going to do like dirty diapers or dirty laundry, for example, you can jump over that. Whereas the other one would be I don't know, something tall, something in the way that we can't jump over, that babies make a mess of, or the baby's bed, right? You can't jump over the baby's bed. So we're going to call it a wall. And yeah, so obviously we can add more things in here. I'm going to do, should we just do bottle? Let's just do bottle. Let's just do diaper. Okay, because a reward, we would do diaper and a wall. And you know what, let's do, oh, let's just fix that. Obstacle reward will be something you can pick up, and award is you can't. Let's just be simple like that. Then we would have private. Let's just make I don't know. Let's create a class to represent a chunk. Public class. Let's call it chunk for now. Forget the word I'm looking for. And let's make it, yeah. So right, so public int length, and we do public let's just do lanes at a time, and then we'll do sprite kind would be, make that an array, for example, and lane 1 lane 1 maybe, or something like that. Yeah, and then um, lanes. Let's just do that, right? Even though we know it's going to be 3, but we may want to have going from 3 to 4, for example. We may want that just to have a different experience. So like maybe 3 to 5 or something. Go wide, go narrow. We can have a 1 lane, and then we can have lanes and this will be for sprites. Okay, and then this would be a what is a good format? It's an array of an arrays. So let's just do that. Array of arrays for now. No need to get too fancy. Can I do that? Yeah. Right. So let's just do that. So we can do private chunk, and let's just make that an array and do underscore chunks. Private read only chunks is equal to. Does IntelliSense have this? Let's just do this empty chunk, right? Typically 5 lanes, typically 3, and sprites is equal to new sprite. Oh, okay, 5. Each one of those is empty there. Correct. We'll have to see. Let's just keep that null actually. So empty chunk, and let's say we're going to have it's a new chunk, and we're going to do let's use a new feature. Can we make that not null? Okay, and we're going to do let's do that chunk, and we're going to keep the empty chunk, and we're going to say sprites is equal to, and then let's use some cool new C# features. That, and we're going to do lane 0, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless we do, yeah, I suppose it's very long and heavy. You know what? Let's make a new file. Do that. Enable. Why can I? There you go. Try that. Oh, wow. Okay. Public class record, and then we can do make this int length, int lanes, sprites. Let's just do that, right? Keep it nice. Actually, I don't want to do that. I'm going to need to do something later. So let's just move this into chunk. Come on. Sprite kind. Also use these sprite kinds as well. Okay. Then I want to do basically chunk, and then let's just do public static class chunks. Let's just do that, right? And then of course we want to do let's move this to a new file. Move type into game chunks. And instead of doing it here, we do it and we can do game chunks dot empty, right? We want to be able to, in this game, pick ones that we like. So game chunks, and then we'll do here, for example, public chunk empty is equal to new chunk. Public static read only chunk. There we go. So there we go, and then we want to do this using static, is that? Right, let's do it for me. No. There. And selection expression, first of all, the new way, and then simplify access member none. I think I'm going to just do it manually. There we go, like that. Wonder if this is going to bite me. That, so instead of doing that, and then we have 3 for none, right? So if we were to look at the definition of chunk, let's put that there, and let's quickly go, and we see, oh, that's an array of array, there's no numbers. So this one's going to be length is equal to 5, and lanes is equal to 3. I mean, technically this is all calculatable, but we don't need to calculate. And then, of course, this one we can probably just do that. Oh dear. Oh, my bad. So we've got an empty one, and then we're going to have, what are we going to call this one? I don't know. Right lane. Right lane locked. Okay, so this is going to be, let's make this right lane locked obstacle. And this one is just going to be obstacle. There we go. Oh dear. Let's just do the sprite kind. I need that because we don't have unique methods. So it's somewhat unfortunate, but it is what it is. Save time. So there we go. And then we're going to have, obviously, this to right lane, left lane, center lane. There we go. So we got these, left lane, right lane, right lane. This one will be what do we call this? Swerve. Single step. There we go. I mean, you can technically go double step, but in the middle we go right. Yeah. So let's just do dice. What do you call this? playing card. Playing card 3. Version 1, right? So let's just obstacle, none, none, none. Then obstacle here, obstacle in the middle, and obstacle in the end. And then let's do basically flip this, variation 2, and we basically flip this around. There we go, we got some obstacles. And then this one is a swerve, I don't know, chicane. How do you spell chicane? Chicane. How to spell chicane in racing? Chicane. That? There we go. Chicane left. There we go. So that's none. So we got obstacle, obstacle. We go down. Then we hear this open. This one is an obstacle. Go. Then you're coming in. This must be an obstacle. Bet you if I copy this and paste this. Oh. So let's just add some spaces here so that we can visualize this. Um, go. And let's just do copy this, just save all of that and move it there. All right, so we can sort of visualize that's empty. Then this one is blocked on the right, blocked in the middle, blocked on the left. This is, I mean, should we flip this to have a vertical one, right? No, it's better to have it this way because it could get quite long. Blocked on the left with obstacle, right? We could have that blocked on the left with a wall, right? But let's just do that for now. Playing card variation 1. And I go through here and quickly copy this and mix that around. So there we go. Okay, there it is. And then let's do this one center, block, block to the left, block to the right. And finally, left and right. They blocked with obstacle. There we go. All right. So we got our basic shapes. Let's collapse some of them. And that's pretty cool. We love it. Right, center, left, and it's just move this. I feel like I did something wrong. Here we go. Okay. So there we got our chunks. Now let's quickly create empty and right lane block to the obstacle. So let's go to game and let's just create these 2 chunks. In fact, let's just create the 1 chunk for now. So when it comes time to spawn, it's quite simple. Previously, we would have this counter that would just, oh, it's time to spawn again. So what we want to do is delete that hack and then do for each for sprite in underscore sprites. Sprites, and then we're going to do, we want to find, what do you want to find? Find the, well, it would be the last, it wouldn't be, yeah, well, let's just do that. Find the last sprite that, no, find the furthest, find the furthest sprite that was added before. So, go in here, I suppose, for max y is equal to, there we go. What happens if it's not? So that's what I want, right? So find the furthest distance. If it's empty, what does it return actually? It must be 0, right? Can I view the source for that quickly? I don't actually know that returns 0. But what do you got? Empty thing. Okay. Oh my gosh, it contains no elements. Hectic. So IntelliSense is right. Okay. So that we want, right? So we need to work out when do we want to add the new a new thing. So we've spawned it. Okay, and then yeah, we want to do here we go. If the furthest sprite is about to come on the screen, then add a new chunk of sprites. There we go. So if the let's call this furthest sprite. If the furthest sprite, if it is smaller than or equal to underscore visible floor length, right? Wait, no, if it's greater than visible length, then return now. No need to do it. Then, obviously, the add seconds, and let's just quickly do this, right? So keep that as is. So what this should happen is that the sprite should not, it may overlap. Let's see. I'm not sure how we're doing that, right? So we when I decide to create a new sprite, let's have a quick look. Oh, that's got to go. Update. Here we go. Spawn a new sprite, and we move the sprite to be minus or the floor length. Wait, this might have to be the min because we're negative away from us. 0 is where we are, negative away from us, plus behind us. We get the smallest. And if the thing is smaller than the visible length, which we do that, we spawn that. So this should spawn thousands now because we are setting the initial visible floor length. In fact, let's move that. Let's keep all of this code in the same location. I can now do this because I now have an actual field to do. Main, and we're going to do region. So we should have, nope, nope, for me to be greater. So let's just stop this. Let's just do new sprite. Yep. Screen. Main, that. Pick a random name just for now. And then of course we're going to sprite at origin. X is going to be, we're going to be 0 because the lane is going to correctly pick it. And then what we want to do is visible floor tile, right? Or negative visible to floor. and this is the full length, so negative. Actually, yeah, we want to get the smallest one, the furthest distance. Make sure that if it is greater than the furthest distance, then add a new one. So this one should spew thousands every pixel. It's going to be intense. Probably want to do visible full length plus one tile, but we'll see now. Let's just see. Okay, I did add a debug feature here quickly to help me. So I just zooming out and let's see. No, it's broken. Edit. Ah, do we start? Yes, I added a file. Just run this again. So in this one, before I do any drawing, I scale the canvas by half in the center, so just zoom it further away from us, and then I draw just a rectangle around it so we could see where the window would have been had we used that. Now, obviously, we're going to wait for this thing. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're not seeing any bottles, which is not sad. Hey, the baby is awake. Okay, let's go 10. The furthest right is 0. Oh my goodness. Okay. If there are no sprites, let's do this. It's fake, right? So if sprites count is greater than 0, right? Then we do this fancy check. And then, of course, if there are no sprites, well, there's nothing we want to do. I don't know why I stopped it. Yes, there we go. If there are 4, otherwise, if there are no sprites, then we always want to, forgot that I restarted this. So if there are no sprites, then we want to do it. So this will make sure that there's always one sprite instantly. And then let's see. Come on, give us freedom of fun. There we go, one bottle, all right. So for some reason, here we go, 10. The furthest right is -1, 4. The visible floor is 4. So if my angle, my arrows mixed around. Yeah, there we go. Thousands of bottles spawning. Okay. So we now don't want to just randomly pick this. What we want to do is actually not return sprite. Let's stop. We have to break that. We don't care about spinning that. Before we had to return sprite because we were setting positions in the update method. But now we don't have to. Right? We don't need to anymore. We just can bail out. If the furthest sprite is about to come, then if the furthest sprite is still off the screen, do nothing. There we go. Otherwise, the furthest sprite off is about to appear. So we have it is about, because it's greater than is on screen. So we need to add a new chunk of sprites. There we go. So where we do that is get a random chunk. There we go. Raw chunk, and then we will pick logic later on to chunk length. Yeah, now we need to iterate okay, for each for lane in chunk dot sprites. I mark that as required. Is there any sense for that? Make property required. There we go. Oh, hoy. Oh, that's just intense. There we go. Features. I knew there was something. Yeah, here we go. So each sprite and sprite, and then we do for each sprite in lane. Okay. We need to loss sprite kind. Sprite is equal to sprite kind switch. There we go. None. We do null. We do nothing. But we have to do it. There we go. Sprite. Switch on that to reward. We do a new reward. Obstacle, we do obstacle. Then we can delete that. Yeah. And then we do lane and sprite. So we do this. Actually, yeah, lane. We need to put that there, that there. Don't do that. What is this? No best type. Go. And we do if sprite is not null, and we do sprite should add sprite. Let's move that to the end. So we don't accidentally. All right. Obviously, for example, reward, maybe there'll be properties. Right now it's an enum, we might have a tuple or more detail into there. So the lane, we need to pick, well, let's just do lane number on lane number 0. Then in this one, I do plus. Okay, so we want to make sure we use the lane. And the origin is, oh yes, we need to do number, and then we do, oh, what's this one? Let's see what a tile number, sprite number. Number is equal to 0, and then at the end here, okay. So actually, let's do that so we don't have to do some weird stuff. And let's do this. get the lanes. Actually, yeah, let's get that. And then lane number. So therefore, make it a var because we are var freaks. We love our vars. So we get the lane and the lane number. That's going to count up, and the sprite we get the sprite number. Okay. So then we need to create those obstacles. That's cool. Then we, if it's not, well, let's just revert if and continue. Okay. We don't have to have too much nesting. So we got the lane number, we got the floor length, then we need to plus sprite number, let's do it, times tile size, or we need to minus actually, and we actually don't. When the furthest right is smaller than, let's just do that. I think it's going to overlap, so we want to do, if the furthest right is just crossed the furthest boundary, then we don't want to spawn another. We want to wait for the tile size. So is smaller than f1 plus underscore tile size. So still off the screen. Yeah. So basically, yeah. So as we'll see now. So basically, as the sprite is scrolling, we want it to scroll, and then when it gets one tile away from the end, then we want to spawn chunk. And the way we do that is we start from, yeah, because it's one way from the end, we then now spawn one, the floor, the furthest away, plus, keep going the distance by a single tile. So let's have a look. This should now be evenly spaced, only in the one lane. And then, let's see, look at that. And of course, we're spawning only 3. I feel like let's just have a quick, there we go, chunk. We picked a chunk, 3, length of 3, we've got 3 lanes, and 5 sprites. None. Okay. Uh, that says 5, yeah, okay. So is this, yeah, right, that seems fine. We've got a loop and a loop. So I wonder if so there did 5, but then overlapping. So let's quickly, just get a sprite and let's render this raw image asset in the paint. Let's get paint. Let's just quickly do blend mode dot darken. No. Color filter, I think. Color filter dot opacity now in drawing. So blend. Sure, it's color filter. Maybe I'm wrong. Which one is I think opacity, effect, shader, stroke style, align. Whoosh. Blend mode is equal to SK blend mode, and they got clear. So let's do multiply. It's going to be a bit weird to look at. Yeah, there's overlapping there. Let's see, game again. Let's see. Sprite number 0. Right? Yeah. 0. And this total calculation is minus 4,700, right? Then the next one, 4,956, 256, 512, 6. Okay. At least it's working, but the trick is it's now overlapping. Can I do? Let's just double that just so I can see. Oh, double the tile size. Um, oh, I know. I think I may know. No, wait, can I just do? There we go. Thousand added. Yeah. So it's 2 tiles. I think this has got to do with if I remove that, it's because I am rendering. Here we go. Just can you see that? Let's see. No, it's still that. So 2 tiles. Origin. This is annoying. It was going so well. And then spawning overlapping in the middle. Yes, let's do break over here. Let's check. Should be only adding 1 now. I'm working. Where's my let's so I've got a lane. Let's see. Let's not move the sprites. Just want to check to see where the sprites are spawning. Oops. Maybe doing my sprites backwards. Actually, I need to go from the first distance. Put more in, but let's see. Here we go. Wonder if my further sprite. Let's actually breakpoint here. Stop this. Let's see. After it's added the first sprite, I wonder if I had calculations wrong. It should be min y, right? Should be it. Unless doing. Maybe I've got a calculation wrong here. It didn't matter. I am spawning, but maybe it's spawning before the sprites are gone. So 0 sprites, 4 sprites. Check. Yeah. Spawning right there. Spawning in the right place, but then it's spawning too soon. Should be the last one that was added. Should be the furthest. 5317. 5317. That's what I got. Yeah. It's the furthest sprite. If it is smaller than the visible floor length plus a tile. Let me quickly slow this game down. Run speed, just make this 100. Just 100 for now. So I can see what is happening. Here we go. 1 tile added, 2 tile. Oh. 2 tiles too late. Wonder if, where is, it shouldn't matter, right? Only one to spawn. Right? Let's see. I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, 1 tile away. Yes. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, internet is back. My internet died. My power went out. So let's quickly. No, let's just work in the dark. Why not? Right? Why not work in the dark? Let's just switch to that. Switch to mobile data quickly. There we go. Okay. That was exciting. Switch that one as quickly. you again. There we go. It's not amazing, but that's better. We'll figure out the lighting later. Let's see. The light going. There's the new spot. There we go. I was doing math in the wrong way. So, yeah, there we go. Okay. Amazing. Now we can stop it and speed up this back to 3. And then we can also, let's add some other obstacles. Chicane right. That was a cool one. And we're going to do, what else do we got? Center lane block obstacle. Let's just do those 3 for now. No need to get too fancy. Let's see. So we should be picking a random one, and our sprite should now be quite cool. There we go. It's a blank one which we picked. What a coincidence. There's the middle lane one. Yeah, there we go. So see that spawning on the edges. Wait, there's another one, and there it is. Right. So we could basically left, right. We have to be quick. Right. So, and there's our chunking happening. So that's pretty nifty. Yeah, I feel like it's quite slow still. So let's. It's quite. Oh yes, we're quite small because we have zoomed out. So let's just figure. There we go. So we would. Oops. Control. All right. So let's quickly go into the sprite. Let's not draw anything. And right, game. Obviously, we're going to have to configure the distance between objects and the speed and all that sort of stuff still. So we'll have to see how this goes. There we go. There comes our bottles. It's always picking. I mean, it's supposed to be random, but what's the coincidence of having that? And we obviously have to have logic to make sure that we don't accidentally pick the same one too many times, but also, let's just say this one was double blocked, right? You couldn't actually get through the gap. So we're going to have to add a way to, right, even on each line, you can't, you need an open tile. So what we would do is, when we see that, there we go, we've got chicane again. Right, and we could even have a longer chicane. That chicanes, that's obviously because we might want to have difficulty ratings for these things. So, as we start off on levels 1 to 5, whatever levels are, you use the easy ones, then 6 to 10, you do the difficult ones, and then of course, now obviously this is working. We need to add the rest. So let's just add the rest of these. I don't know if I'll be able to. Just add them more. Just delete the whole chunk. There we go. Chunks dot one color. There we go. And this one's going to use the cool new collection expression. In my mind, it makes zero difference, but and it's just, is it 300? Let's make that 400 for now. We're probably going to need to do some things. faster moving. There we go. And of course, there's our diagonal and another one. I wonder if the random is happening. Let's just see. Am I using the shared random to get that? I am getting shared next sprite. What a coincidence. Yeah, but I remember reading an article somewhere you can't use real random, you have to use pseudo random because, well, this could happen. You get a multiple one. So you need to have a logic to be like, okay, you picked a vertical line, you don't want to pick another one. It's the same, so you almost like would have a collection of like the last one you picked. But anyway, so this is cool. Look at that we're doing there. We can go through the gap. Whoops. Whoop. Oh, I've lost control of my. Like here. Here's an. Well, say that's not quite slowly but surely drifting on the thing, but it's okay. Right, this is quite close. I almost like think we need this more. Just even have to be a low picture, right? Some bottles, right? Maybe we should actually put a little shadow on there. Okay, and then we can zip in between them. So these are something. So our graphics is not the greatest, but it's quite okay. Pretty sure this particular one is one where we wouldn't be able to get through. So we need to have logic to say, oh, if I have placed uh, you know, a bottle here, the next one, or I have an opening in the middle. The next one must also have an opening in the middle. So what I think I would do is try and find a quick way to make sure, for example, in our game. So when we spawned our last sprite, we're going to have maybe lanes, like the last open lanes, right? So so maybe I'll should we show numbers? Let's just quickly create a private sprite kind array for last chunk row. I don't know, let's do that. Yeah. And then of course, when we add a new chunk, we're going to do chunk row is equal to new is equal to empty one, right? And we're going to do dot none. Look at this. Right now, last chunk row. Let's will this be a list? Let's keep it an array. It makes forces us to do it right. There we go. Right array is equal to new lane count. There we go. Right. then if no if sprite number sprite number is the last sprite in the lane, right? We're doing lane. So sprite number is equal to lane dot length, take away 1, then we do sprite chunk in row, lane number is equal to sprite kind. I think that's right. So track the last sprite in each lane. Right, and there we go. So when we do this, what we want to do is actually not pick all the sprites. We want to create a subset of the sprites. So we want to do for uh, next chunks is equal to, oh, there we go, sequence equal. No, that's not what we want. Yeah. So next chunks is equal to be use link. Shouldn't be using link in a tight loop. Potential for issues, but we're going to do it for here for now. Okay. This is return true. Okay. So if for each for last sprite for each it's last sprite, but we need to go through each of the last ones, and as soon as we find an open one, we must find go for each chunk, right? So we got a chunk, a potential chunk, and we say, okay, are the open ones matching? So for each right in underscore last chunk row, if the row is equal to is now if there's no last chunk selected, then we can just return that. So we loop through each of the items in the last chunk, right? And we do if sprite, if it's a none, then we need to make sure that at least one sprite is open. So if this is none, okay, yeah. And c.sprites dot any for any on the rows dot any lane lane 0 is equal to sprite, right? So let's see how we can do this. Let's look at the logic. So if there was no last chunk, then we can use any chunk. Actually, I can do this. No, let's just do that. Each lane, check to see if it was em empty, and if it was, then we need to make sure that the new chunk has also has an empty lane in the same spot. So make sure that at least one of the lanes in the new chunk, right? So we're going to loop through it. If it's a none, then if it's not none, right, the obstacle there, it doesn't matter what's on the other side, we can't see it. If it's open, then we also need to make sure that all the sprites we see chunk, that all the all the all the not all the sprites, all the lanes, first one matches that sprite. Okay. None. There, no matching open lanes. There we go. Let's see. Right, there should be no case of I've got an open lane. It's just I've got one. Like actually, I can force it by having center lane blocked. Right, these are all of them, right? I think we can do it, right? The center lane blocked. Here we go. And then we can do the chicane, right? Because this is open, that's open. There you go, that's open. That one's open. Oh, reach some sort of, there we go, that's open. It's able to pick, then of course that's open. That shouldn't have been pickable. Let's force that. So we got center lane blocked and left and right blocked. And oh wait, chunks. Matthew forgot to uncomment that. Next chunk. Let's speed up that 600 quickly. So motion here. All right. I'm going to come offline soon. Finally, things are not looking hideous. And we can work on some additional gameplay logic. There we go. Oh, that's blocked it. That's not a good choice. You could be trapped in there. Yeah, so we may need to change this algorithm, right? Because you don't want to get trapped. You think, oh, it's open, and then you get trapped there. It's important. This game should never get the player trapped. There'll always be a way out. Because right, you can't see that far ahead, so you make a decision. It's like, oh, you made a bad decision. Well, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So let's just quickly check. Center lane blocked and left and right lane blocked. So this should increase the probability of, well, it should not be able to pick it, right? Because in the one center lane is blocked and the other one's open, so there is no way. Whatever one it picks, it should stick with that. So let's see. And that should have happened. So let's see. Two. The last chunk row is obstacle, non-obstacle. All right, so let's have a look. Start again. Oh my god. Here we go. Stick a breakpoint there. So the first one is going to be none. Obstacle. Right, so this one's obstacle, none, obstacle. So this chunk that's going to scan in here is none, obstacle, none, right? This should not be picked. If sprite is obstacle, right? So we should skip that, right? Now this sprite is open, okay? Chunk, sprites. So any, oh, yeah, sprite. Here we go, sprite. Okay, let's see the problem. Cancel that. What we want to do is we're looping through the sprites. We're going to chunk. Okay, chunk your sprite in your. This one needs to be for each, a 4, because we need to have. Well, this will be lane number. Right. There we go. Like that. I think that's what we should be doing. Oops, say chunks. Even that was wrong. So much pain. There we go. All right, let's pick this one. It should never pick anything else. There we go. Okay, so we can put these all back and let's see what happens. Wow, I'm not sure what is happening with my internet. That is uncool, very uncool. And make sure the stream is still standing. Then we just put the, I'll be back. I need to have a technical difficulty slide. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what just happened there. I was connected fine and then it decided to not be connected. There we go, we're back. That is very scary when things like that happen. I'm going to be speaking at the .NET Conf in South Africa and I'm doing it remotely this time. So this is not giving me happy thoughts. There we go, back and forth. Should be no trappings. Let's see. Maybe we need to have greater length or something. But yeah, we can. These bottles are amazing. There we go. Okay, so I see these slowly are becoming less and less aligned to this front. So there's definitely something happening. I'm rounding most likely. I might need to keep a double counter and then you know, just cast each time to a float. But there we go. Oh my gosh, what's that? That was not cool. What's that? Chicane left, chicane right. So let's see. This should not be possible. Start that and let's figure out what just happened. Because that should not be possible to achieve. Okay, here we go. That's correct. That's great. No, it's probably not going to fail. It's going to be amazing. Wait. It all. If it wasn't a chicane, let's do. Get it to give us a bad one. It's going to give us all amazing ones now. Probably can't remember what I saw. Running down the lane, around the side, through the bar. Here we go. Oh, this one here. There is a right chicane and the outsides. Okay, let's try that. So, right chicane and left and right lane blocked. Let's see. This is where like we should be writing. Maybe we're going to do some unit tests the next stream. Because yeah, we should be able to pass anyone and have a pre-approved list of ones that can go next. Let's see. Is that the right one? That's a left chicane. see what we got. Okay, that's definitely the right chicane, but no. Oh, left chicane. So that's going to go. All right. So clearly, yeah. Okay. Speed this up again. 1,000 pixels a second. It's going to be super high speed. Let's see if we can get this thing to give us a bad one. Oh, I think we've got some other problems in creating traps, like that long trap over there, because so we might have to optimize our algorithm a bit to not select trapping ones. But for some reason, trying to spot what I saw before. There we go, over in the middle, and oh, okay. Well, I think we'll take a pause here. That's definitely a trap. Not sure how that worked. Well, gosh, we've gone crazy. But yeah, so we'll have to create some sort of detection logic to not like that. There we go, that's a trap, or that's a left chicane and a right chicane, I think, or maybe it's, yeah, we'll have to analyze these a bit more. Come on, give me a bad one quickly. Maybe replace these with just solid blocks so that it's easier to spot than the distance between the bottles. We go down the lane, oh, and that's a trap. Because that one's open. So that might be the thing. It's definitely, if we've got an open lane, right, and almost like I must count as a, yeah. All right, I think overall things are slightly more on track. Underscore available chunks. There we go. Yeah, so we managed to get that going. Let's just commit this and chunking. think that's enough for now. Today I need to go get to bed, and yeah, well, that was loads of fun, to be honest. Things were looking scary, and I was getting worried. And then I managed to figure out that layers upon layers of bad decisions got us into a trouble, and then yeah, now we're moving a bit better, and we're gonna fix up our algorithm for picking the chunks, and maybe we can next time we can maybe try do things like the rewards, the chunks, like the walls and the obstacles. Maybe even do jump and see if we can get into a place, and maybe even like the bottle, we can make the bottle spin or something, give it some sort of animation in there. Yeah. All right. Um, yeah, I'll leave that for that, and thank you very much for coming.